You have to get everyone involved. You do not expect the Nigerian Army, police, DSS, to protect every Nigerian or every community. It is not going to work. In the US, if you visit someone in the house, you will be shocked that when the guy hears a police siren, he will just pull his drawer, bring out his gun and keep it. So one of my hosts did that, and I asked him, why are you putting gun here? He said, well, if they are chasing someone and he enters my house, I'll shoot him first. And that is the layer we have to start thinking about. How can you create first line of defense? The military, police, and other security agencies are to deal with the bigger ones, the organized ones. But it is impossible for us to deploy it to every community in the country. It is unimaginable that any security agencies that has the resources to do it. A group of terrorists, the Boko Haram, then had invaded Azari. They were shooting in an attempt to kidnap, and the community chased them. They killed some members of the community, but the community members killed all of them. The last guy, Khalid, climbed onto a tree and was firing. The community stood, they were resilient, and they killed Khalid. Since that day, there has not been one terrorist attack in Azari. As a matter of fact, the former head of state, General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, said, and I quote, if we want to stop or curb this terrorism, we shall emulate the Azari example. Tafawa Balewa also happened to be a local government in Bauchi that was always in flames. And the people of Bogoro and some part of Tafawa Balewa, where the Sayawas are, rose up on one occasion. They knew their terrain better, climbed onto trees and mountains. When the invaders came, they did not only repel them, they seized their weapons. And since then, you can attest to it that you hardly hear about Tafawa Balewa again. What I'm trying to say, the practical approach to mobilizing people, is that you have to get everyone involved. You do not expect the Nigerian Army, police, DSS, to protect every Nigerian or every community. It is not going to work. In the US, if you visit someone in the house, you will be shocked that when the guy hears a police siren, he will just pull his drawer, bring out his gun and keep it. So one of my hosts did that, and I asked him, why are you putting gun here? He said, well, if they are chasing someone and he enters my house, I'll shoot him first. And that is the layer we have to start thinking about. How can you create first line of defense? The military, police, and other security agencies are to deal with the bigger ones, the organized ones. But it is impossible for us to deploy it to every community in the country. It is unimaginable that any security agencies that has the resources to do it. So as we live here, we all belong to one community or the other. What we have to start experimenting is how we can make the community to prepare first, if the first line of defense for us. General Wahab said it clearly. And for me, there are 3 takeaways from his lecture. By the way, the general and I were guest speaker at one program in our office, so I'm not surprised at his dexterity He has developed some sort of expertise in what he does. But three things for me. He asked us a question. What is our own culture? Our culture is communal. We do things together. Festival together. Ceremonies together. Wedding ceremony, whatever. So why can't we fight some miscreants, some charlatans among us together? The community should say, you cannot come here. This is what Tafawa Balewa has done. If you go to that community to attack them, you'll be sorry for yourself. I challenge anybody to try it. And this is the way we have to do. We have to allow some level of armament for the communities, and they can serve as the first line of defense. Second takeaway from what the general said, all society approach is not the first time we are hearing. But what I'm saying, the way to do it is when we live here, those of us who have some influence, the elites in society, discuss with your communities, come to us, get some sort of approval and guidance, and then we can stop these criminals. You can imagine you call sector, let's say sector 4 or whatever, sector of the army, to come to this community if there's an attack. Before they even arrive there, if they attack another community, what happens? This is what we should take away from here. And lastly, he said something very instructive.
Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits that kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
We, every one of us, rise up and defend ourselves. It is quite clear the government alone cannot do it. I have warned very long time ago in a speech in Ukari that our people must be prepared to defend themselves. That warning is as valid today as it was when I made it. If we can't defend ourselves, we'll abandon this country.
All hail Biafra, all hail Biafra, all hail Biafra. We are in our darkest time. What happened in 1967 is repeating itself. In 1967, some few Biafrans were working against Ojukwu, notably Ifajuna, Mojoku, Njoko, and Nzeribe. So we see the same thing today. The Igbos, which is the major component of Biafra, have a proverb that says that now we have our brother who is fighting for Biafra in the way he understands, but what we understood is that he's fighting for Biafra. And we have recalcitrant Biafrans like Ifajuna going to Finland to make sure that he's put in prison. Now, if they put Simon Ekpa in prison and put Nnamdi Kanu in prison in Nigeria, I know those people will not be able to do anything anymore. Because these are the two voices that we have to defend us. They went to Finland as a member of terrorist organization, according to Finnish court. They themselves agreed in Finnish court that they are member of terrorist organization. These IPOB member now in Finnish court agreed that IPOB is a terrorist organization. That is what they are telling the world. To show you how damaging these criminals are. Very damaging. One of them presented Simon Ekpa's tweets that Simon Ekpa is instigating violence in eastern Nigeria. He compiled Simon Ekpa's tweets from Daikin.com to show that Simon Ekpa was instigating violence in Nigeria. Please, the world, I'm asking you people. The head of Nigerian DSS, came out openly and asked Nigerians to defend themselves, Nigerians to arm themselves, Nigerians to defend themselves, that the state can no longer defend them. His Ekpa tweet worse than that one. Probably Ekpa had it and started telling his own people, hey, look at what these guys are saying, you need to wake up from sleep if you are sleeping. The head of Nigerian military, the commander of Nigerian military, Danjuma, came out openly and told Nigerians to arm themselves, that Nigerian military is collaborating with jihadists, Islamic extremists, that is marauding across West Africa, trying to expand Islam by force, that they need to defend themselves, that they need to find a weapon wherever they can find it and defend themselves, that nobody's going to defend them. This is from the Nigerian head of Nigerian military. The question I ask you, what Ekpa tweet, is it worse than what these guys are saying? Then I have one question. Why are these guys not arrested? Why are they not arrested? What they said is worse than what Ekpa tweeted. These guys are working for the government and urging people to arm themselves. Could you imagine? The head of Finland's secret service telling the Finnish people to arm themselves because their government have failed. Could you imagine the top general in Finnish army telling Finnish people to arm themselves, that their government have failed because there is a marauding Islamic expansionist group killing pregnant women, chopping babies, burning villages, burning cities, burning farmland? Will you hold anybody responsible who says, hey, look at what I'm hearing, wake up? Will you hold him responsible? That's what I'm asking. Please find a way and present this information to Simon Ekpa's defense lawyer. All those tweets and all those letters that was compiled by this Igbo saboteur, Biafran saboteur, that will die like a vulture, will have no effect, because the head of DSS in Nigeria called for Nigerians to arm themselves and defend themselves. The head of Nigerian military called for Nigerians to arm themselves and defend themselves. What Ekpa tweet is not worse than what they said. So why were they not arrested? If what Ekpa says is a sin, that's what I'm asking. Please, defense attorney, present this case, present this to the Finnish court.